I have learned the handstand and the one-arm handstand completely without the wall, and to be honest, I think it was a mistake, because if I knew how to use the wall correctly, I would have saved me a lot of time and frustration. Okay, let me give you some context, because a few days ago I was posting a reel related to this topic. I told everyone that using the wall is completely useless, it's a waste of time, it's not specific, it's just going to keep you stuck. That's basically the message that I was spreading on Instagram. And this reel got a lot of responses, and to be honest, these responses, they have not been really positive, to be honest.
When I'm chatting with people, I often ask them to send me a clip of their current situation. Guess what they do? They send me a clip of a one-arm handstand against the wall. If you're only practicing it against the wall, you're going to stay stuck forever. I can promise you this, because practicing the one-arm handstand against the wall is completely inefficient. You're not close to the real position. It's not going to help you with the balance, and it's not going to help you with the alignment, because when you position your body in the one-arm handstand, you need to rotate internally, and it's impossible when you are leaning against the wall. There are so much more exercises that are way more efficient, like handstand push-ups, regular handstand holds, leg movements in the regular handstand, handstand presses, weight shifts, block walks, elevated support holds, attempts. All of these things are way more efficient than practicing the one-arm handstand against the wall.
Of course, a lot of people agreed with my opinion, but on the other side, there have been also a lot of people that disagreed with my opinion. And to be honest, the people that disagreed have been professional hand balancers. So I really had to question my own belief, because I was completely rejecting the wall back then. And after I've read those comments from these professional hand balancers, I really started to think about this. And I also started a conversation with one of these professional hand balancers, and now everything makes sense to me, because handstands are really different to calisthenic skills. Because when you are training for calisthenic skills, you first of all want to start with bad form. You want to decrease the form of the planche or of the front lever in order to make the skill easier, so you can already experience how the skill feels. But in handstands, clean form makes the handstand easier. So it's completely different. It's a completely different approach. So this professional hand balancer told me that all of his students are training the one-arm handstand against the wall. And it was blowing my mind, because I always believed that it's not efficient, because you are not really capable to work on the balance. You are also not really capable to work on the right technique, because when you are leaning against the wall, it feels completely different. But if you know how to use the wall properly, you can actually use it to your advantage, and don't be too stuck to the wall. Don't rely too much on the wall. Only use the wall in order to work on your form and to build up some time under tension. So every progression that you do, first of all, needs to be assisted. It can be assisted by fingertips on the ground, it can be assisted by the wall, it can be assisted by a chair or whatever. So if you are working on the one-arm handstand, it can be assisted by the wall as well, but only if you do it in the right way. If you rely completely on the wall, if you are completely leaning against the wall, and if you are not specific anymore to the actual position, then of course it's a waste of time. It's going to be useless, because like this you are training the wrong activation. But if you are training it in the right way, so if you are going really close to the wall, if you don't put a lot of weight against the wall, then the wall can be a really great choice. And that's also the way how I incorporate the wall into my training right now. Okay, let's do the test. I just do a regular handstand close to the wall. I'm not warmed up yet, but I just want to do the test. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that doing the block walk, for example, is also a really great exercise that you can use in order to really work on your shoulder elevation without worrying too much about the balance, because sometimes it can be really useful to separate balance and strength from each other, because sometimes balance can be a limiting factor. So if you really want to get strong in a specific position, you sometimes can also use the wall in order to remove the barrier of not being able to balance it. So that's also a really great way how you can use the wall for the one-arm handstand and for strengthening your one-arm handstand. see. I don't know if I'm in the frame or if you can see my hands if I'm doing it. We'll see. Starting like this and going really close to the wall and holding. Let's see if I can do a one-arm handstand. Let's do another try, and I also want to show you how not to use the wall. So this would be the correct way, or this would be how you can do the test, for example. And this would be how you can lean, for example, to the wall in order to really make the line straight without worrying too much about the balance. What you shouldn't do is to go really far apart from the wall and then do something like this, because it's not specific at all. It's a really huge mistake. So don't do the second thing that I've done right now. If you're already a bit more advanced, you can also use the wall like this. Getting close to it, starting in a straddle, in a small straddle, without touching. As you can see, I have two blocks, because you can also use these blocks for the block walk against the wall. I'm going to show you how it looks like. Place it on the ground. Now you completely walk up. You take those blocks. You are in a half straddle. And then you are always shifting the weight from side to side while being supported by the wall. It's an amazing exercise to work on the shoulder elevation, so on this push right here. And you don't need to worry that much about the balance. So that's exactly how I use the wall. I'm not completely leaning against the wall. I do the drill where I'm really close to the wall in order to work on my line freestanding, but then I also do a few drills on my weak side, for example, where I'm actually leaning against the wall, but I don't put that much pressure at the wall because it's not that useful. So I'm basically just using it to build up a lot of time under tension in a really straight position. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. That's about it. It's a really short video, but I think it's a really important thing because I did this mistake years and I didn't realize it. So I think the most important takeaway from this video is the difference between calisthenic skills and handstands, because in calisthenics you decrease the form and you make it easier like this, but in handstands you make the form clean and you make it easier like this. So this is a really huge difference. It's basically like two different sports. There's calisthenics and there's hand balancing on the other side. So these different sports, they also need to be trained in a slightly different way. And that's what I didn't understood back then, because I was always approaching the handstand and the one-arm handstand in the calisthenic style, and this was holding me back. I also think it's really great to sometimes just share some spontaneous thoughts that are in my head or some things that I learn. So I want to keep it a bit more, a bit more authentic, to be honest. Yeah, that's it, and see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.